WTO has certain principles which every member country or the agreements has to be signed based on this principle. So the principles can be non-discriminatory principle, more open trade, transparent, predictable trade, and special treatment of LDCs. Special treatment of LDCs. So these are the four broad principles. So one by one, let's try to understand them. So non-discriminatory is the most fundamental principle of WTO. Okay, so what is this non-discriminatory? That means no member shall be discriminated against another member. Everybody shall be treated equally. That's what it means, right? So all the members should be treated equally, non-discriminatory. Okay, so within that non-discriminatory, there is two other principles. Non-discriminatory mein, there is two other principles. So the first one is MFN principle, that is most favored nation principle. And the other one is national treatment principle. So let's try to understand these two one by one. So the first one is what? Most favored nation treatment. See, under discrimination, you have most favored nation treatment principle. So it is very simple. What does it mean? So if one member give certain preferential treatment to another member, the same treatment should be given to all other members. Example, if India gives some preference to US, the same preference has to be given to all other members. You understood? So that is what most favored nation principle. So that means if you give favoritism or you provide favoritism to one member, automatically it gets applied to all other. See, what will happen otherwise is countries like US, they have more bargaining power. Yes or no? So they will be able to get more benefit trade trade agreements with, let's say, a smaller country. Now, that cannot happen. Why? Because if somebody gives benefit to US, same benefit has to be given to all other members. Agreed? So that is what is known as most favored nation principle. Is that okay? So if WTO member grants to a country an advantage, it has to give the same advantage to all other WTO members. So this is what is known as most favored nation treatment. We give benefit to Pakistan or Sri Lanka or anybody. We have to give it to all other members. So don't you think this will lead to equality? Yes. Whether they are a rich country, whether they are a poor country, they will benefit from WTO, because if benefit is given to one, automatically applies to them also, poor country also. We don't have to go and separately bargain. You gave him, give it to me also. It can't happen because it doesn't have to happen because it's automatically applied. Next, is there any exception to it? Yes, there is exception to it. So benefits given within a regional trade bloc or some customs union, such benefit need not be given to members outside that bloc, trade bloc. Okay, regional trade bloc, or you can just say trade bloc. So if any benefit is given within a trade bloc, okay, now you might have heard about SAARC nations. Under that, there is an agreement called as SAFTA, South Asian Free Trade Agreement. Example, SAFTA. What is SAFTA? South Asian Free Trade Agreement. So the SAARC nations are there, no? India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Mauritius. So these countries are SAARC nations. So under that, we have signed an agreement called as SAFTA, South Asian Free Trade Agreement. Now, we give free trade. Free trade means we have removed barriers, tariff barriers, almost all commodities between those countries. Meaning with India and Sri Lanka, India and Nepal, no tariff. Because we are all part of this SAFTA. So since we have given them benefit, should we give it to China? No, because this is an exception under the MFN principle, where it says that if a benefit is given within a trade bloc, or a customs union, that benefit need not be given to members outside the bloc. Understood? That's one exemption. Second one is when benefit is given to LDC. Alwa. So the LDCs are the poor countries. So benefit preferential treatment, I told you, can be given to LDC, which need not be given to other. Now, Nepal is an LDC country. Now, America will give preferential treatment to Nepal. It need not extend it to others. It need not extend it to others. Okay, now. Next, it's for like products. It is for like products only. What is the like product? Again, it is not defined in WTO, but various rulings of WTO, we can consider what is like product. So, what is the end use of the product? End use of the product. Customs classification. Customs classification. Customer's choice. So, if the end use is same, or if the customs classify that commodity the same way, or if the customer's choice is the same, such products are called as like products. So these are applicable to like product. That means if some benefit is given to like products, the same like product should also enjoy the same benefit in other countries also. That's what it means. So it is applicable to like product. Now, what is the benefit? It will promote equality. So even those countries which do not have bargaining power, poor nations without bargaining power, they also shall benefit from such principle. So poor nations or those countries which do not have bargaining power, shall also be able to benefit from the best trade agreements. Because if the trade agreement is given to one nation, it should be given to all other nations. Alwa. So it benefits all. And then the world as a whole will benefit from it, because the trade will be based on merit and not based on political powers. It will be based on merit. Now let's take what I'm trying to explain over here is, let's say there is country A and country B. Both are manufacturing pens, let's say. A manufactures pens which is much cheaper and better quality. Okay, both these countries are exporting to another country called as X. Normally, which X should be preferred? I mean, a pen of which country should be preferred? A, because it is cheaper, it is of better quality. But let's say a situation arises where X and B sign an agreement to give preferential treatment to B. Now, what will happen? Maybe the B product becomes cheaper just because it is enjoying preferential treatment. So, who is going to suffer? A. But what is ultimately going to be the effect? Efficiency in the economy is going to reduce. Global economy. If everybody starts doing this, what will happen? So the efficiency, it will bring about efficiency in international trade. Agreed, all of you? It will bring efficiency in international trade because the product from the best nation will have access to it. So this is called as most favored nation principle, meaning what? If benefit is given to one member, the same benefit has to be given to all other members. This was in news a few years back when India was attacked by terrorists. Okay, so 40 CRPF personals lost their life in Pulwama. You might have heard, no? Okay. So when that attack happened, India suspended the MFN status given to Pakistan. Okay, in Pakistan, it is not called as MFN principle, most favored nation principle. Rather, it is called as non-discriminatory market access. See, as soon as we signed the WTO agreement, India gave MFN status to Pakistan as a part of our, agreement with WTO, or as per the WTO requirements. We signed, or we gave MFN status to Pakistan. But Pakistan delayed, but even after it gave it, it was called as non-discriminatory market access, which is equal to MFN status. Just the name is different, because MFN means most favored nation. In Pakistan, in Urdu, if it is converted, okay, language, it shows that India is the most favorite nation of Pakistan. So therefore, they did not want to use that word, and therefore, so don't get confused. It may be called by any name. In US, for example, MFN status is called as permanent normal trade relationship. Permanent normal trade relationship. All these are the same. So they are all MFN status itself. So that's the first principle. Did you all understand?